Hey, so I'm Alyssa. Nice to meet all of you. Thanks so much for hopping on and checking out the replay. We're so excited that you're here to check out our event, our info session. I guess this isn't a group, but we're just so glad that you are checking this out. So, while maybe some live viewers are getting notifications, I just wanted to say that it can be scary to even like take a look at what we're doing and like get on a coach's radar, But we are just so glad that you're here. Hey, Vanessa, see you hopping on live. So, like I said, I'm Alyssa Corning. I have been coaching 3 years next month. So August is my coach anniversary. And I feel kind of like a hot mess. So we went to the pool this morning. My acupuncture doctor could get me in like in a last minute appointment, and so we got to the pool late, so we got home late, and yeah, my toddler hid he likes to run around with my tripod, and I don't know where it is, so I'm coming at you holding it, so hopefully you don't get seasick. But I really am just so passionate about coaching and sharing it and offering this opportunity to other women because I don't even really want to think about who I would be without coaching. So I know that can sound kind of dramatic, and people are like, "Oh, brother!" Like, of course, everybody that is a coach says that, right? But for real, like for me, I first had Beachbody come into my life when I was about 8 months postpartum after a stillborn baby. So I had a severe pregnancy complication. It's called HELLP syndrome. It's a subset of preeclampsia. And because of that, I had to deliver my son premature, and he didn't survive the birth. And obviously, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And healing from that has been the most life-changing and direction-changing of my life. So I've always loved helping other people and giving back and improving my community. I was a full-time social worker. I had a passion for working with families and helping kids be healthier. And working with women that needed extra support, either in domestic violence or sexual assault. And that was really where my heart was. And I was so passionate about giving back. And it was so hard. The social work that I did, so demanding. It wasn't a great lifestyle to have a family. And it was just really intense. But I felt like I was making a difference every day, and I loved that. But I wasn't making a difference that was like actually solving the problem. Like I was working with women after the fact. I was working with families after the fact, and I wasn't doing anything that was like preventative. And so during that time, obviously like I was struggling. I was at the lowest point. Like self-confidence had always kind of been something I struggled with. So I'm an outgoing person. I loved to like be social and do fun things, and I was in a sorority in college, and I, had like a good group of friends, and I loved doing fun stuff. But I didn't always have a lot of self-confidence. I always felt like I was the second-rate person. I don't know if that can make sense, but like I always felt like I was like one tier like less cute than my friends, or like I was just like one less in a lot of things when it came to like self-confidence wise. Not like, I did great in school and I felt like accomplished, but it was just kind of always there that I just always struggled with self-confidence and with feeling like I loved my body, and I was like, just that confidence and that love. So it was a really hard, obviously anytime you have any kind of pregnancy complications or pregnancy loss or infant loss, it's like incredibly difficult. But I think I had this added layer because my body failed. Like I got HELLP syndrome, so we had to move forward with delivery, and my son didn't survive. And I felt like, again, like here's something else that I'm not good enough at. I'm not good enough at pregnancy. And then if you add in like, I had, the postpartum body, but I had no baby. So it was It was just so rough. Even just like thinking back on it, I'm just like, oh gall. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like I slowly came out of it. But I know that I wouldn't have if I hadn't have found Beachbody. And I say that with confidence, and I 100% believe it, because I tried to do a lot of things. So I was stuck in this cycle of not really loving myself. And I was working out and trying to lose the weight and do these like crash diets and cleanses because I wanted to, like, my body back. You know, I was like, I'm sick of being fat after having a baby. I feel horrible and it's my body's fault. And it was just like not a good, like, I just wasn't in a good place. And so I was, you know, using it as like punishment. And I got into this really awful, like, emotional eating kind of to deal with the grief. And then it was just this whole really tough place. So I had tried for months and months. I tried to lose the weight. I would like do a cleanse and drop some pounds and then add them back and add even more. And it was just this awful cycle. And I saw a coach that I didn't really know. Like, we had just connected through social media. She posted a before and after photo and invited people to come check out her challenge. And I was like, okay, well, if this program got her those results, like, I don't look like her before photo. I look, you know, a whole lot worse. But, like, if she did that at home in 25 minutes, like, I could totally do that because, you know, I might not look like her after photo, but, like, I was like, heck, if I can even look like her before photo, this will be great. So I decided to do it. And that was like the tipping point for me because I stuck with it. I committed. My husband jumped in with me. He was like super hesitant, like, oh, what is this shake that we're paying for and work out at home? Like, you don't even go to the gym. How are you going to like actually like commit to working out at home? But the community, like having that accountability to know that people were watching if I was checking in and having made that investment, it was kind of one of those like, man, if I'm going to pay this, like I'm going to actually do this because I want to see those results. I was tired of staying the same. And the positive community and like of the challenge group started to help me feel like, wait, I don't exercise to like, so I can eat whatever I want. And I don't just like eat when I'm feeling sad. Like, I was conscious about it. And as I showed up and like fed myself better food and showed up, you know, 5 or 6, I think it was 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week with workouts. I can't remember what T25 is. And I didn't miss one. We went on vacation and we stuck with it and it felt so good. And it was this tipping point of like, I can take care of myself and I can love myself. And I started to feel just a little bit of love for me because I was showing up and showing my body that I cared, and I started to just kind of get on the right track. I was still, no one invited me to coaching. I didn't hear about something like this, and so I didn't even really understand that like my coach, like that I could coach too. And so I continued drinking Shakeology, we continued doing the workouts, and we like really dove into like clean eating and Whole30 and just like wanted to just take care of ourselves. I got to this point where I was starting to love myself enough to think of another pregnancy, and I was like, well, I want to do everything that I can to be the healthiest person, so whatever another pregnancy brings, like I'm ready to fight. And like it was hard. And with my first son, like it was a battle. Like it was touch and go. And I knew that I had a purpose to be here, that my son didn't, but I needed to be here, that God had a plan for me. And so I finally, as I was taking better care of myself and learning to love myself again, in like a whole new way than I ever had in my whole life, I was like, all right, I can do this. I can be brave. I can get ready for another pregnancy. And it took a long time for the doctors to like clear me and some complications that I had. But as soon as we started trying again, we didn't get pregnant right away. And I was like, oh my heck, another thing for me to suck at. And I kind of started not like just getting in kind of another negative cycle. I was like, oh my heck, we were kind of running in this timeline. My husband's a resident. We live in San Antonio, Texas, and we were moving here for his residency. And I was like, I can't move pregnant. It's too high risk. It's too scary. So we've got this like timeline. And I was realizing that I was like just kind of in this negative space again. And I was really stressed and I wasn't taking as good a care of myself. And I was like, And right at that time, one of my friends became a Beachbody coach and she was like, hey, you should do this with me. Like I had started kind of sharing my story and kind of meeting other moms on social media. And I was like, yeah, like I love it. Like the group totally changed my, my level of self-care and how I was, taking care of my physical body and stuff. So I was like, all right, I totally would love to be a coach. And at that point, I just needed something for me. I needed that community again. I remembered what that group was like, and I was like, I'm going for this. And it fit perfectly because as my husband was doing residency, like I was going to have to work and, hopefully be a mom. And I was like, well, if I can, rock this out and share my story, and like I have a passion for helping people, as a social worker, and I really didn't want to work in such a high intense job as like a new mom. I just wanted to like soak up those baby snuggles that I had waited so long for. And so I just did it. I was like, all right, I'm going to go for this. And it feels exciting. It feels right. And I totally didn't have like it all together, right? Like I was in a place where I was still struggling, and I was doing better at taking care of myself, but I needed that extra support. And what made the hugest difference is when I started coaching. You'll hear more about these throughout today and in our live Q&A. That is true. I definitely had some scary moments as a social worker that my husband was like, if you're going to keep working, we need to find you a safer job. So I started reading personal development. So we have these things called the 4 vital behaviors, which are basically just for a coach, like the 4 things that we have to do every day. Like, we get to be our own boss and direct our own businesses and use the Beachbody platform with these like proven tools that help change lives. And we get to do that with our own spin on it, which is what I love the most. And you'll see just from all of us live here today that we all kind of take a different approach, and we all brand ourselves, and it's the best. And so but those 4 vital behaviors that we do are like our basics, no matter if we focus on being like, and branding ourselves as a fitness coach or a wellness coach. Like I really focus on being a healthy lifestyle coach because I know that these little habits I have every day have just made me the healthiest I can be. And I also am not like the hugest fitness person. So if you're watching this and you love fitness, that's amazing. If you're watching this and like you need the accountability to stay fit and to be healthy, then that's perfect too. So really, I love that it can be for anyone. But these vital behaviors are things that we just, all of us do, no matter what we call ourselves or how we do it or how we run things. And one of those is personal development. So personal development is kind of like self-help books or self-growth. Okay, so a lot of it is, reading books, attending, like some like personal growth seminars and trainings, but a lot of it is just daily reading of, personal development or personal growth books. A lot of us listen to Audible or audiobooks because like mom life is so busy. When I first started coaching, I wasn't a mom. I was working full time and managed an apartment complex on the side. I was so busy, but I knew I needed it for me. And so I started listening to personal development as I was commuting to work. So, before I would like jam out to music and, whatever. And now I was starting every day with this positive stuff in my head about habits and thoughts and self-love. And it was like just helping me deal with the fact that life doesn't go how you always want, or almost doesn't always ever go how you want, right? We don't have that control. It was helping me realize to take control of what I could and to do my part. And then I had to just have faith and like trust in life and in hard work and everything. And so it came just at that perfect time. I was waiting to get pregnant. I was feeling like, is this saga of pregnancy hardship ever going to end for me? Like, how am I not getting pregnant? And I just dove into coaching. I dove into personal development, and it really just changed my outlook, and it helped me. I had done a lot of grief counseling, a lot of therapy after losing my son and some of those intense social work moments. But personal development's like that daily boost that I need. Like every day I kick it off. And so Fast forward, I did get pregnant, and it was the best to have this kind of passion project as I was building this business, with the mindset of wanting to get home. I just needed a part-time income with Beachbody to like make up that gap for while my husband was in residency, and so I was able to make that happen in that first year of coaching, and I had my son, and it was the perfect community for me, because as you see, like, we just all become best friends, and it's the best. You get to pick your coworkers, you get to work with other women who are all trying to be their best, who are like, we're totally not like Pollyanna over here. Like, life is hard. It's freaking hard a lot of the time. And we get to support each other in a real way. It's like so genuine, and we get to call each other on our crap and help us become the best version of ourselves. And I needed that while I was pregnant, because it was a high risk, hard, scary pregnancy. I got HELLP syndrome again, luckily not until 35 weeks, and my son survived, and I had a hell of a fight again, but I survived, and we're here, and it was amazing, and the hardest transition to being a mom ever. Like, I loved it, but we had just moved to Texas, and I had this brand new baby. It's hot as heck here, and I didn't have any friends, and I didn't have that community, but I had my coaching buddies, and they got me through, and I had that accountability to jump back into taking care of myself and try to figure it out as a new mom, and I struggled, but I was never like hopeless, because I knew what worked. I had this community, and I don't know, when my son was turning 1, I really struggled again with just some of that birth trauma coming back. And right around then is my coach. She like talks about personal development a lot and the changes she's made. And it inspired me to start a miracle morning and to have personal development every single day, no matter what. I kick off my day with it. So I start my morning with a prayer and scriptures and personal development audio. And then most of the time I go right into my workout. But always those 3 things before anything else. Even if I don't get up before my son and he like joins in and reads a book or plays a puzzle or whatever next to me, that's how I start my day. And it's just that energy and that boost that I need to show up and love myself every day, because life is hard, and we get so many messages from the media and from, just our inner mean girl, and we have to combat it. And I think I never can say this, I never would have been so consistent with setting this miracle morning up if it wasn't for my job. Part of why I want to grow is because I want to inspire more women. I want them to know that they never have to feel alone or lost, that they have this sisterhood right here for them. And that is what I love. And so it pushes me to be my best self. And it makes me a better mom. It makes me a better wife. And it makes me love myself more. And that is where it's at. And ultimately, it makes me be a better daughter of God. So I don't know if you're religious, but God and spirituality is a big part of my life. And after I lost my son, I struggled a lot with my faith and with wondering why I had to go through that. And I've never been the most consistent person with like developing a relationship with God. And I wish that I had been, and coaching gives that to me. Every day, that's how I start my day. And I feel closer to God than I ever have. I feel more love for my body. So my son is 2, and since getting HELLP again and just everything that affected my body, like I gained 50 pounds, which is normal. I gained 4 of them while I was pregnant and the rest after. It just does a number to your liver and to your body. But anyways, and I've lost 30 pounds, so I still have about 20 that I'd like to lose, and I'm 2 years out. And I love myself more now than I ever did when I was a smaller size, or when I felt like, my skinny jeans fit perfectly. It's this crazy transformation. And obviously I'm still working at it, and I know it's going to happen. But what I love is that it's not based on my outside appearance. Like, the love for myself is it's inside, and it's something I never even realized was totally missing. Like, I think until I got to this place of where, like, it's just a habit to love myself. It's a habit to take care of myself. These little things every single day make up my life, and I do them because of coaching. And recently, I've talked to a couple friends who have been were coaches for a while, and then, whatever, life changed, business stuff changed for them, and she was saying how she didn't realize, like, when she was kind of thinking about not coaching anymore and doing a different business, she was like, well, I have these habits now. Like, I work out all the time. I love the endorphins, and I read personal development anyways. And I was just talking to her, and it's been like, 6 months, and she's like, holy cow, I can't believe how much those habits were tied to coaching and to it being my job and to taking care of me because I needed to be better for my job. And so I know that, like, I'm more consistent, especially since I said I'm not a big fitnessy girl. Like, exercising isn't my favorite part of the day. I love when it's done. I've learned to love it so much more, but there's no way I would force myself. And it's not like I have to force myself, but it would be if I didn't have coaching. But there's no way that I could make myself push play every day, that I could have that consistency. And I know it's because I get to do it for a job, and I get to inspire others, and I get to start helping other women feel that self-love and be a part of that journey and help them create this life. And it's incredible. And I love it. And I know that you would love it too. And that wherever you're at, you can deepen your self-love. You can be just the very best version of yourself, and you can tie in whatever you need to work on for you into coaching and into the growth that comes, and you can rock it. So you are here in this awesome group with some freaking amazing women. Please ask questions. Please don't hesitate. We are open books. We want to know what's holding you back. We know that fear plays a huge piece in this. And so tonight on our Q&A and during our live videos, please ask questions. We are not going to be offended. We're not going to be embarrassed. We want to break down the walls. We want to help you take this passion and this excitement and that little tingle of excitement that this, like, thinking about it and watching this brings. We want to help that, like, blow that up into a purpose and to you being your best self and to ultimately just loving you even more. So thank you so much for checking out my story, and there's lots of other women sharing today. And then tonight we are going to hop on live and hang out and answer questions and just have like a little girls' night in. So we will see you later. Bye.